don't know. It's making noises, isn't it?
So next thing I want to talk about is obviously you're one of very few of my friends who've actually tied the knot and got married. And I think we're at the age now where you're either, you're in a relationship and you're either like you're starting your life, so maybe you are like buying a house or getting married, or you're still pretty much in a stage where you're just living at home with your parents and you're not in a relationship. Like
20s is a weird age for like,
it really
friends.
is.
Like,
yeah, especially when it gets like late 20s, like early 20s. I feel like pretty much everyone is still in the same. But when you get to like the later 20s, like people are starting to like diverge into like their different paths.
Yeah.
And I think obviously with you, I think it was a big shock to all of us when like you tied the knot. Like if you knew this guy back at university, you wouldn't expect this guy to like have been married like so soon. So I just want to just talk about like married life and weddings and stuff. Not that I'm in any position to like.
Yeah, we'll help you plan yours, man.
Yeah.
Soon come.
No, it's like at least a decade away, man. Honestly.
You say that, but yeah.
And that's the thing. That's why I want to talk to you about it as well. Because like when I think about marriage and like starting a family and making a life for myself, like that still seems like so far away in my head. So it just fascinates me that you're doing it now, and like obviously that Aaron's doing it now as well, kind of a thing. So just give me like a general like timeline of like kind of like your relationship and.
Yeah, so I met my wife. First time I met her was about 4 years ago. We were both on the same training course and stuff, starting work, and then it was kind of just like a brief introduction at that time. She didn't take me seriously because I was just like that guy that was showing up late to training, like just like taking it. I wasn't taking it that serious because it wasn't like specific to my role. I was just having fun. It was like we just spoke about university, and you just get like money for the first time, and you got like freedom. So I just got the first paycheck in my account, and I'm on a 6-week training course. I'm just having fun, living life. Anyway, fast forward 2 years, so we didn't really talk to each other. We followed each other on social media, and then I just reached out to her. We just talk, and we always planning to meet up, but it doesn't quite happen because she at the time she lived in Glasgow. I'm based in London. Oh no, I was based in Bournemouth. But yeah, so it just didn't happen for a while. But then, yeah, one day we just actually met up, and we just went to watch some rugby. We just got talking. I went to the park. Obviously, now I'm about that park life. So yeah, we were just on the bench talking for what felt like hours, and I was just opening up to this person. I was like, wow. I said to her, I don't normally actually like open up to people like this, and like this feels different. I feel comfortable talking to you. And yeah, so it just continued. Had a few more dates, and obviously things we discussed kind of like where we wanted to go in life and like what we were looking for in life at the time. And yeah, we kind of both just clicked, and it grew from there. Yeah, and I don't know.
So how long were you dating or like boyfriend and girlfriend for before you like popped the question?
Well, we've been dating for just over 2 years now. So when I knew I wanted to marry my wife was, well, not my wife at the time, marry Patricia was, when was it? We were on holiday. So it must have been about a year and a bit into the relationship. Went on holiday together around Valentine's, and then it was in the desert in Morocco. It was on like quad bikes, and I was like, oh damn, like this is cool, man. Like this person is actually lit, and like I want to just be with this person and do like fun things together, and like just experience life together. Like it's nice. This is like a partner you can have for the rest of your life. Which was funny because like a few months earlier when she went to her friend's wedding and caught the bouquet and told me, I like freaked out. I was like, I'm not ready to get married. And she always just like throws that story in my face now. But yeah, who knew like a few months later I'd be just thinking about marriage. And I mean, it wasn't until another 6 months later where I'd just like start looking at rings and actually looking seriously into that situation. And yeah, but I knew fairly early on that I wanted to marry that person.
Actually, one thing that's came to my mind actually that I want to touch upon is kind of like the struggles of dating, especially like with kind of like obviously like the younger generation. I feel like there's a lot of pressure when it comes to dating, a lot of like unspoken rules when it comes to dating. What were kind of those pressures that you felt when you first started dating? Like, were you like out dating people? Were you looking for someone at the time, like, or was this?
I was just kind of like casual, so yeah, we always have that conversation. Like Patricia was like, "Oh, I'm just one of the people that you were messaging, and you're talking to lots of people." And to some degree, yeah, I was talking to a few people here and there, but that was a point in my life where I was getting very comfortable with myself. Like I settled into my job. I'd been in it for like 2 years at the time, and I was living with my flatmate, but it was kind of like just a free life. Like I was living near the coast. I was going to the beach. I was just doing what I wanted. I was comfortable. I was going out on adventures. I was like, enjoying myself. I wasn't really. Yeah. I think up until that point in my life, I was quite concerned of, I want to have a girlfriend. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then at that point, I just stopped chasing. I just kind of just discovering myself. Really, I know that's a sort of cliche thing, but I was just comfortable in my life at that point, so I wasn't really going out to look for anyone. So the fact that I met the person who would become my wife at that time was a very good thing, because I didn't feel any pressure dating. It was just like I'm hanging out with a friend and we're just getting to know each other more and more.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what everyone kind of hopes for, where it kind of feels like effortless, you know? Yeah. You're not like trying to impress someone, or you're not like forcing yourself to like this person. It's just like it just all just kind of naturally falls into place. And I feel like that's because obviously like with dating apps and as I was talking about like kind of pressures that are on young people, especially these days, it is kind of like we're forcing ourselves to find people. And the days of you're just gonna meet someone and you're gonna fall in love, like the days are kind of gone.
Yeah, it's hard because where do you meet them? Everyone's just like on their phones. Everyone's like I don't know. It's hard. It's always been harder. I don't think that in some ways it's easier. So yeah, now you've got access to a larger pool of people through like these apps, and just like the world is more connected. But then that also makes you feel more lonely. It's just faster. I know everyone just makes the jokes like, "Oh yeah, just swipe Tinder on the toilet." And stuff. But it is kind of like that. A lot of people are just like yes or no, black or white. It's binary. You don't just give people a chance that you may not necessarily. Yeah. You could be really compatible, but you're just going off like one image or one facts and say this person's not for me.
Yeah, I'd be like surprised to know, like with the amount of people who are in relationships, if they saw their partner like on Tinder, would they have like swiped right for them?
Yeah, exactly, and that's a scary thing, like to think that you could be passing up real good opportunities in life. And I personally, I had those apps, but for me it was kind of mainly I was trying to improve my game at the time. I remember I always used to try and get you, if I got a match on Tinder, which was probably rare, like I'd be like, Byron, like craft this text message for me. I need to say the perfect thing. I need to say the right thing to this girl. And it's always like, you put pressure on yourself really, like, I've got to say the right thing, I've got to do the right thing. No, you just have to, like, it's not going to be authentic if you find someone and you're not being yourself, because eventually that mask is going to slip up, and you need to be true to who you are in that sense. I mean, those apps are useful. I've always said that I want to meet someone, like I at least want to have met them in person before I'm confident in them and knowing who they are. I would say someone has to vouch for them. That's what my friend Donovan always says. I don't know why it's a random fact, but he always says, I'm never gonna go out with any girl that no one that I know knows, you know. Because that's a stranger, you don't know them from anywhere. Like someone has to vouch. And it's true, like I've met my wife through work, so that's originally says something about her levels of ambition, her her work ethic.
I was gonna say, like, who vouched for your wife?
I guess but it was like fine, a setting where I could glean some information about her. But saying, I don't know, that's unfair, because some of my friends are in really good relationships, they're marriages, and they met in the nightclub or exactly. So it can work out, but for me personally, I just feel like I want something else to be there, some good foundation.
No, that's fair. So to bring the conversation back to like marriage and stuff, I want to talk about buying a ring, because I don't know, when I think about getting married, like the whole process of buying a ring, like really, like it's really daunting to me.
It's Haribo, isn't it?
Because obviously there's this rule, like what's the rule about how much you should spend on a ring?
There's no rules. There's that traditional, it should be 3 months salary. It's not realistic.
3 months salary, you mad?
First of all, like, I don't just have like bears just like sitting there just like this is ring money, you know. yeah, just I don't know. Find out if you can find out what style your soon to be fiance hopefully would like. What material? Just have a conversation about it. Like, do they like prefer gold? Do they prefer platinum?
So you did you did speak about it before.
I was very clear on what she wanted to get. We actually went to the shop together and looked, because if you're in a serious relationship and you're thinking about marriage, I don't think that should just be a secret that you spring on someone. Would you marry me? It's like it should be something that you lead up to. It should be something that is an ongoing conversation. Like kids, finances. We discussed finances very early on in our relationship. It's stuff like you should be very clear. I knew the style, the shape. It still took me a while to find the right diamond, but I had a very clear idea. And then it just rolls around, okay, I know what they want. How can I fit that within the budget that I have? Or what budget do I have? Because there's so many options. There's buying outright, there's financing. You can go to the jewelry store, you can go online. And I recommend online because online just has like the high street rate is a lot more expensive for the same thing. And what you were saying about it should be like an ongoing conversation, because I feel, because obviously when you think about proposing, everybody wants it to be a surprise, and like when you talk about like having a conversation with your significant other about it, it's kind of like ruins the surprise. But I think you can still speak about it. Because obviously you're speaking about it, but you're not saying, "Oh, I'm going to propose to you." Yeah, I'm not saying you ask them what type of ring they want, and then on Friday, and then on Saturday you're proposing. Of course, that's not a surprise. Like, the surprise is not the fact that you're going to propose, because that's known. If you know you want to get married, it's going to happen at some point eventually. It's just like, when is it going to happen, and under what circumstances? Because you don't want to be caught out on things. Like, you can get like you can buy a ring the wrong size and get it resized, but why not just go to the shop and get them to measure it, so that when you can do that 2-3 months in advance. So when you want to get the ring, you just know what you need to get. It's so much easier. Yeah,
and we were talking about before. We talked about this yesterday. Actually, like, I think I don't know. Someone spoke about it. But like, if you do truly want to be surprised, then buy a ring that's like a placeholder ring. So just buy like any kind of ring, and then after you propose and hopefully they say yes, then you just go out and you can choose a ring together. Obviously you still have the surprise of like, proposing to them, but then they still have the choice of like getting whatever ring they want to
get. Because why would you take a chance on that? Like you said, like people say, if you're going back to traditional 3-month salary, well, that could be into like, for some people that could be into like 5 figures or whatever it is. So it's why would I spend that amount of money that I've probably never spent before on something that I'm not sure about whether the person would like? Just don't take the risk, man. Just make life easy for yourself and for them.
Or just like quit your job when you propose. So it's like, it's £0 in there, I'm not gonna make it. So were you nervous when you popped the question? How were you feeling? Or was it kind of like a formality, like this is gonna happen? Like,
I was nervous I was gonna lose the ring. I was checking my pocket every 5 minutes, man. Like, I was just looking, it's still there, it's still there. So I bought it. So I bought it online, and then I had it stashed in my wardrobe for like a month or two, and then obviously I travelled to Glasgow to propose, and I was just making sure every minute, it's still there, still safe. Bought it. We went to the bakery actually. We bought some cakes, and then I put the ring in like the cake box. So it's there.
So let's talk about weddings. Obviously you kind of had like a small wedding. So I would imagine it probably cost a little bit less than like maybe a traditional wedding cost.
Yeah, small, definitely by like Caribbean wedding standards. I mean, it was probably like 60 people. So it wasn't a bank breaking expense, and I don't think that weddings need to be. I think a lot of the time people put this financial pressure on themselves, like, we need to have this, and I was saying, you're spending like £1,000 on a cake. Like, when did you ever do that? And like, okay, you're just gonna have a slice of it and then never see it again. Of course, you want it to be a very memorable day and full of like positivity, and our wedding day was, and it was just we loved the whole experience. Like, everyone there had a positive vibe and attitude, and everyone that was there were people that we wanted to be there. Obviously, there were some people that we wanted to be there that couldn't make it, or we just couldn't accommodate at the time. But it was a really great day.
So you said it wasn't bank breaking. So was it a conscious decision for you to be like, okay, we're not going to spend too much money? Like, did you want to have a small wedding?
No, I would realistically, on all honesty, I wanted to have a larger wedding and like in the church and everything. We got married in a registry, but a lot of that was down to like a timing factor. So we wanted to get married in 2019, and we were going away in December. So it was like, okay, we don't have that much time to plan it. So, but we still wanted to have something to celebrate the occasion. Initially, we were just going to go to the registry, just get married, the two of us with a few witnesses, and then have the celebratory meal after, which then actually turned into a ceremony with 40 guests and then a reception with like 60 guests. But it still took, I say it wasn't bank breaking, there was still obviously costs involved. There was like a few £1,000, and like it cost like you obviously have the venue fees, you've got the rings, you've got the catering, you've got the drinks, you've got invitations, all these factors, the suit, the dress. So you're not going into it trying to think, oh, how can you're not making money off it. It's a cash loss at the end of the day, but it's an experience, and you want everyone to come away from it having that good experience and just being happy for the bride and the groom. So yeah.
What was something about planning a wedding that you didn't expect? So what were some surprises that came your way? You're like, oh, I didn't actually think about this. I didn't know this was something I had to consider when planning a wedding. Or were you pretty much clued up on everything?
I don't think there were any surprises really. I mean, you just have to have the components, you have guests, you feed your guests, you give them drinks, like you have obviously photography, which you done for a wedding. That was like a lot, and that's another thing I have to be really thankful for. I've got a lot of people in my circle that have just stepped up to the plate. Like even my aunt, who like does like flower arrangements. She made like she didn't make the bouquet, but she made like the table arrangement for flowers. And it's really like everything looked, for the money we spent and for the how everything looked, you would have maybe thought that we spent like a lot more. The cake she also does the cake. One of my aunts done sort of like the handling of like the guests when they come in, and so a lot. It was really good. Like it was just good, man.
Nah, because I think for me, not obviously, but like I'm not someone who has been to many weddings. I think your wedding was the first one I went to for.
Yeah, I was surprised when you said that.
Yeah, literally, like I've definitely been to a wedding before, but I think I was like mad young, so I don't really remember it. So like your wedding was like the first wedding I've been to where I can actually like remember the wedding. So obviously if I'm gonna plan a wedding, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing because I haven't even been to many weddings myself. So I'm just clueless on that front.
I think you start from the basics and just add on to it from there. So okay, we need a venue for this much guests. We need to have food. We need to have drinks, decorations as well. Okay, that's one thing that not catch you by surprise, but then there's things that you just don't consider. You think down to the details, like color schemes, candles on the tables, balloons. Confetti. I was surprised by how expensive confetti is personally.
Is it expensive?
Yeah, just for cut up paper. It's like, damn, like it needs to be cheap. I do this myself. But no, it's the little touches that make the experience better. So then we bought the backdrop for the photography area, and then the lighting and all those other like the stands for the lighting, all that stuff. Do
you have those lights?
Yeah.
Do you use them?
I'll lend them to my uncle, but I can get them back at any time. Yeah.
I might have to take this from you,
Yeah, we can. Yeah, feel free. No, you actually deserve it, man. You came through with the photography, and just music as well, DJing, like all of these factors. You just had to. It's just okay. Think of it as planning a party, but a really like elaborate party. Yeah. My mum was a massive help in that as well. Like she was like, she basically like managed me. Like I was going to work, I was coming home, and then I was just doing like wedding planning. It was like a second job.
Oh, I'm mad. So, speaking more about married life, how is it? Do you feel, is it different to be just being like in a relationship? Like, how has your life changed since being?
That's
like,
a
how long has it
question.
been now? Like, it's been
almost a year, so it'll be a year in November. It's kind of like when people ask you, "Oh, it's your birthday? Do you feel 1 year older?"
Yeah.
No, like I felt like very close and connected with my wife before we were married, and it just continued afterwards. Obviously, there's differences now that before we didn't live together. It was a long. I say long distance. It was like London to Scotland, but it was like some distance. And now we live together. We lived together for a year now, and you have your ups and downs living together. But just do I wanted to be married and am I enjoying it? Yeah, it's nice. Like, it's, at first it feels weird calling someone your wife, but it feels like normal now. It just feels right.
As I say, like, it still baffles me to hear you talk about talk about marriage. Like,
yeah, I never thought if I'd come to you like this point saying I'm married, no, I wouldn't have thought that.
Out of everyone in our house from uni, if we had to say, okay, who's gonna get married first? Obviously, it wouldn't have been you.
Yeah, definitely. I probably would have said Aaron.
Oh yeah, I would have said multiple people before I said you.
Really?
I think I would have said
Who?
yeah. I probably would have said Aaron first, even Emily.
Nah.
You would have said Emily?
Nah.
Oh, sorry, Emily. I would have said Emily probably would have got married before you.
Really?
Mate, we ain't think about you, because like you weren't in any relationships at uni.
Yeah.
You know, like you weren't really like seeing anyone, so it's just kind of like, okay, like this guy is not gonna be in a relationship for a while.
I love hard, man. And that's one thing. It's all personality driven. So yeah, I think people kind of look at it as like, oh, this person is in a relationship and that person's in a relationship. I don't necessarily think that is the barometer of when someone's going to get married. People can be together for 10 years and they're just happy and they don't want to.
That's very true.
I'm always very intentional, and like I said, even on the first date I went on with Patricia, like we were very intentional and like where we want to go in life, what we want to do. Some people was like, I'm not sure if I want to get married. I don't think it's right for me, or like us, we both want to get married, we both want to have children, so these are things that if you know about your partner early on, it's like, okay, well, why not? What are we waiting for? Like, if we both want this thing, like, because society tells you, oh, you're too young, or like nah, when is your time? Is your time? Life could be short, man. Imagine I like died like next year. Damn, why did I wait? Why did I say I'll wait to 30 to get married?
Yeah, I think actually that's another good point actually about, I feel like society pushes that you need to have achieved certain things by certain ages. I didn't feel that by now. Like, being 26, I'm like, 30 is coming for me. I need to have done all this stuff.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel like I put pressure on my friends now, man. Like, my friends' girlfriends are on their necks.
Yeah.
Those two were only together for like a year and they're married, and we've been together for 5. I'm like, sorry, bro.
That's funny. And you always see the memes about people saying, when I was younger, I said I'd be married by 25, and now they're like pushing 25 and they're still not married or anything. It's just like,
one thing I absolutely want to stress is that don't marry someone just to fulfill that achievement and accolade. There's no accolade for being married at 25. It's just something that happened. I never knew I'd be married at 25. It's just something that happened. Don't say, I want to have a kid by 30 and then go have a kid with the wrong person just to have a kid. That is a life. That's a lifelong decision, man. Like, you don't want to make a mistake with the person you choose to be with.
Definitely.
So take time, man. Like, there's no pressure. You don't have to have a girlfriend. You don't have to have a wife. You like just live your life. I was living my life when, I'm not saying be passive, but just like don't chase. Don't like. You don't have to have that person.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a sentiment that, like, I mean, people say to you that things will just, fall into place, or like your time will come when it happens. And I think, but it's a balance, like, you shouldn't be trying to force it too much. Obviously, you should be like putting yourself out there.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, your time will come. Like, if you're, you're still young, well, not even young. Like, no matter how old you are, and you still not in a relationship or you're not married yet, it's like, but you want that for yourself, then
you look after yourself. Make yourself someone that someone would want to be with. So a lot of people, like, people always ask, what do you look for in a person? Like, when I hate when people just ask people that. It's like, what are you doing to be the person that has those qualities that someone's looking for? I want a man that can drive. I want a man that can pay like, okay, could you do that? Or like, I want a girl that can cook. Can you cook?
Yeah,
like, don't be picky in terms of that. Like, be very...
Mate, this is a whole like conversation in itself. I think there is, like, you see, like, on dating apps as well, people like have a list of things that they want in someone else. It's like, okay, you want that in someone else, but like, what are you bringing to the table? You know? And like, I think people, I mean, I'm been saying this for ages, but like, people need to take more like responsibility and like more accountability for like how they're acting. Like, if you're acting in the same way and you're attracting the same kind of people, then maybe you need to change how you're behaving to like attract a different kind of people, like there's nothing wrong with being like happy with who you are, and like, I'm not saying that it's not like a self-loathing thing. Like, don't need to hate yourself or like be like, I'm a bad person, I need to change. But like,
no, but it's like looking towards things. For example, in my situation that I'm currently in now, if I had those characteristics, like some stuff on my list is like, okay, I still live at home because I'm saving up for a house. I don't drive a car yet. And so those are two things that are on a lot of, like, not everyone, I can't speak for everyone or any woman at all, but I know some people and they say, oh yeah, I want a man that has a car and I want them to have their own place. So I'm out of a lot of people's lists.
And
that's okay. Like, you know, well, at the time when I met my girlfriend, like, I was living in my own place in a different city. Obviously circumstances changed and we moved in and we're staying together. So it's like, you can have requirements, you can have like preferences.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't necessarily let that define.
No, yeah, definitely
everything.
No, I think for something like, I don't know, having your own house and like driving, I think those are, I don't know, for me those are two very weird things that people have as requirements for other people.
What that says to me is that person wants to be with you for their convenience.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I ask people what do they look for in someone, I'm usually asking that from a characteristics and traits standpoint. Not asking for skills like, oh, they can cook, they can do that. Those things are nice, but that's not what's going to hold your relationship together. Like, me and my wife always joke, like, all the stuff sometimes we fight about small things. Like, money will solve that. Like, we're arguing over dishes. Like, we just eventually we want to be able to get a place where we can get someone in to clean and do these things. It's about, can you be with each other? Like, do you like each other? Like, can you stand being around each other? Do you enjoy each other's company, time? Do you like similar things and doing stuff together? Like, what are they caring? Are they?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask, like, what's the biggest thing that you look for in someone?
I like someone that's like, they can be sensitive and just caring and they just value you. They understand you as a person. Like, my wife understands me as a person in a crazy way. Like, sometimes it's scary. Like, I think about it's a short time we've been together, but it's like, damn, like, I know this person inside out, and we can just both be thinking the same thing. Like, we go out, for example, we'll be in a restaurant and we can just like look around and we do that thing where we like people watch and we just start laughing and joking, but we have this similar sense of humor. Like, is those little things where you can't get that with anyone. Like, my list could be, oh, I want someone that's this tall, this height, this shape, this, but that person wouldn't get me.
It's funny because, like, but that also comes with, it's not even just about like romantic relationships. It's also just about like friendships as well. I feel like I get you.
Exactly.
I feel like you get me pretty well. And that's kind of like why we're really good friends as well.
Yeah, exactly. And we do like, we're willing to like go above and beyond for each other. Like, you've done the photography for my wedding. Like, for me, I don't just sit in front of any camera and talk. I don't like doing this stuff, like I told you. But like, if it's like my close friend and someone like you, I'm like, yeah, of course, that's Byron. I'm willing to do that. That's family, man.
This guy, he's a backy guy. Oh, you never said the story about me losing my phone. For the thing.
Day one when you go out in university, you lose your, was it BlackBerry? You lost it, and then I paid to go back to. I knew that phone was gone, but I just like, I can't let him. Like, I have to try it, man. I'm sure
the phone got stolen. I didn't lose it; it got stolen. I'm pretty sure it got stolen.
Yeah,
but that's what happens in, because you're not prepared, innit? But that's that.